My goodness, my garage is a disaster. I mean, I just got wires everywhere. Like, pretty sure all these wires are starting to look like the same color. Like, this is just black and white at this point. Done so much wiring. At least I feel like I've done a lot of wiring. Might not be like a lot. What up, everybody? Welcome back. Another day, another Mustang video. And we're still doing wiring. Got some more stuff we need to do. Still got to finish up wiring for the fan. I believe this fan, which is the Honda fan and shroud, I think that's going to be temporary. I think I'm still going to end up putting the big fan on it. But I will go ahead and add a connector to that. For now, that'll at least get me up and running and get a fan working on it. And then I got to run these wires out here for the fan. One of these wires is a positive for the fan from a relay. And then the other one is headlights. So yeah, we don't obviously have headlights yet, so I'm gonna cut them short. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a connector right here inside the fender well, and then the front will have a little sub harness. But for now, you know, I'll just have the cooling fan wire going in it, and then I'll add the other side of the lighting wiring whenever I get the front end and stuff back on and get all the lights wired up and stuff, or mounted basically. But for today, yeah, little catch me up. We did get the onboard air all wired up and everything. That all functions like it's supposed to. It does look like it's dropping pressure. I need to pump it up, I guess, and then see if it leaks, check it for leaks and such. But yep, it's all right there. We got her all looking good. Still got to loom some stuff up, still got some miscellaneous wires to run. But for today, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to try and wire up this solid state relay. Yep, we got this little, I don't know how to pronounce that. The lettering looks really weird. I don't know if it's an R or a K or an O or a Q. But anyways, this is Sloppy Mechanics 101 bump and Transbrake all in one piece. So we're gonna end up trying to find a spot to put this thing. And I don't know if it's gonna be over here. So I might try and put it sideways, mainly because the way the wires are gonna go in and out of it. Probably be more like this. I don't know, I'll have to double check. I gotta double check the wiring diagram on Sloppy's page and see how we want to run the wires for this. I think this is going to be the spot. I think it's going to be over here. But we're going to try and get this wired up, see if we can get the Transbrake to work. I don't have a button for the bump box yet. I need to get one of those ordered, and then we'll worry about trying to get those wired up. But for now, we'll get this mounted, try and start running some wiring and figure out kind of how I want to plan this out, and see what we can get working here. All right, guys, so we're back at it. Got a couple other pieces in the mail to finish off this wiring for the Mustang. Stuff coming from Motion. Oh boy, look, man, did you see that? Did you see that slide off there? It's because I used that Sam's wax and polish. Watch this. I mean, that thing just slides right off there. But anyways, got a Motion Raceworks boost solenoid mounting bracket thing. Yeah, Mac valve bracket. From the looks of it, looks like I can put that on the bar here. That might be kind of cool if I could clamp that on the bar. Yeah, that might be really cool. And then we got our bump button here. I'm gonna see bump, also the scatter button, I mean the scramble button. This should fit in the steering wheel. Hopefully it'll fit in one of these holes. Yeah, it should. It should fit in there. But anyways, we're gonna get to hooking these up. I've got all the wiring and stuff ran for the boost solenoids into the car. I'll have to wire that into the power tap, which I'll show you that. And then I've got the wiring coming out. We'll take that back, scratch that. I've got the wiring coming out for the boost solenoid here. So I just have to wire it in, put a connector on the boost solenoids, and then that's done. And then I've got the dome pressure sensor wired into the car. I just have to hook it up to the power tap and finish that. And then from there, the wiring's pretty much done aside from wiring in the headlights, which we'll get to that another day. But that's just gonna be a main power wire going to each headlight and a ground on each side. That's pretty much it. But anyways, let's get into trying to hook this stuff up, see if we can get it out and maybe test it. All right, so it's gotten late and I got the boost solenoids mounted. Pretty sure I got them wired right. I guess we won't know until we try it. I think there's a way you can change some stuff in the tune as far as like setting up like your dome pressure, like target dome stuff. I don't know, it's late, I'm really tired and I can't even think straight. But I am going to try and put this in, put the SD card in, load the tune in it, because I made changes. I had to make changes for like inputs where the boost fill and boost vent solenoids are wired, and that's my input output stuff down there. So I've got boost fill, boost vent, the other one here, I'm trying to think, I can't think of what I'm trying to think here, what this is. Oh, this is Transbrake, those are your outputs. And then inputs, the blue one here is my bump button. This is dome pressure sensor, and this is Transbrake button. Both the Transbrake button and the bump button are ground inputs. Obviously your sensor, whatever, but I want to make sure everything's reading. I want to make sure the bump works. There's no fuel in it, but I don't want the pump to turn on, so I'm gonna pull this out one-handed. Nope, not one-handed. And then that way, when I turn the key on, it doesn't. Try and turn the pump on. That sounded weird. It's really loud. Lots of relays clicking. All right, so the Transbrake button. Let me go over here. Oh, I gotta upload the tune. Almost forgot. File, global configs, upload. Turn the key off for 4 seconds. So now, I'm gonna go over there and probably crawl in the driver's seat so I can plug the steering wheel in and check the bump button. Oh, all right, so put our steering wheel in. There's our new motion bump button. Little red one that matches the Transbrake button. I should have got a different color. I thought the Transbrake one was green whenever I ordered the bump, and it was not. All right, so let's see if I can do this. All right, key on. Make sure the Transbrake button works. You can hear it click, and then you'll actually be able to see it on the solid state down there. So now, whenever I hit the Transbrake button, it should light up, and then I should bump, and it interrupts it, just like that. So the bump works. We're trying to finalize this boost setup stuff. So I hooked up the dome control stuff, and then I went in here, and I couldn't get any if I set up this boost versus time, it wouldn't let me select any of this. And I was like, what the hell, what's the problem? So I kind of just picked around and then finally realized that whenever I was setting up my input for the dome pressure sensor and I went into configure, I figured I'd set it up as a custom sensor because it's just a, you know, eBay 100 PSI pressure transducer, not like a Holley. I could probably click the Holley 100 PSI one and it would probably be relatively the same. Like, let's go down here. I mean, I assume the scaling is going to be relatively close. Where's it at? And we'll just pick it, which actually doesn't show you the scaling. But honestly, that'd probably be okay because, like I said, most of the 100 PSI pressure transducers, the 0.5 volt to 4.5 volt scaling's all the same, honestly. But I scaled it for my custom. Oh, hey, there's a custom pressure there. Custom pressure times 10. Format 1. Oh. Maybe I just need to pick, because I had custom 5 volt and I set it up as, well, that was the deal, is I didn't click this unit and I didn't click PSI, so it didn't know that it was a pressure sensor. So whenever I tried to go back into my boost versus time, it wouldn't let me add any pressure because it didn't know what type of unit it was. So honestly, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna set it up as a Holley sensor and we're just gonna make this simple, and we should be able to test it this way. And if it didn't read right, I could offset the pressure here and get it to scale and read correctly. But now if we go back in the boost setup, now, so before, if I tried to set my launch target, it wouldn't let me set like a PSI. See, and now it's letting me set a number on the launch target. Before, it wouldn't let me do it. It popped up with some kind of display that said like you couldn't, it was more than it would allow. You know, we can set up a boost scramble to where like the bump button, there's a scramble button, which we may get into that at some point. I do need to play with the boost safety stuff. That's all stuff I'll get into and set up later before we actually lean on the car. But yeah, so the boost versus time stuff, that's all in there. So we should be good. So in theory, if I turn everything on, I upload this tune to the car and turn everything on and just trigger the Transbrake and let go of it, it should show me on the dash here, like if I click on this down here where I have dome pressure, it should show me, if I let go of the Transbrake, it should show that it's adding 5 PSI dome to it. So I'm gonna hop in here. We're gonna try that because I want to make sure the solenoids are working. All right, so we got the laptop out. We're gonna get her plugged in. Oh. All right, so we got the laptop out, got her plugged in here. Going to download from ECU. We've already got the tune in it, so we're gonna double check and make sure this boost stuff works, which actually this has gone empty now. So I'm gonna turn this on, let this pump up for a second, and then we'll double check and make sure that whenever we do the Transbrake, that we have boost pressure on the dome. So let me turn this on, let this pump up, and then we'll double check that. Okay, so we got everything live here. See if you can see down there, dome pressure, and let's see if it works with this Transbrake. Transbrake's working. You can see the solid state light up. Actually, I think the deal is, because I've got this set up as TPS modulation. Let's go back and yeah, so let's just turn, yeah. You can hear it there. I turned that off. And now it's adding dome pressure. See there, it stopped. It reached its 5 pounds and it's holding steady. Okay. So let's go back. Let's turn this back on. TPS modulation. Now there, it probably took that 5 pounds out. Yeah, see, it turned it on. Whenever I turned the TPS modulation back on, it took the 5 pounds off the dome because I don't have my foot on the gas. So let's see, can you see throttle position? Yeah, if you look right here, you can see throttle position over here. And then once my throttle position goes up past 50%, oh, I'm not live, that's why. Oh, I am live. Why would my TPS work? Oh, there it goes. It's because I had the gauge on, I think. Well, let's see. Is TPS on here somewhere? Yeah, there's TPS here too. So if you see the TPS get up to 50%, it should start adding dome pressure. There it goes. Target dome, 5 pounds, 5 pounds. And then it takes it off. 5 pounds, takes it off. So, yeah. So now we know the boost control works. We're gonna get this thing outside and we're gonna test this. And we're gonna see if we can hit 10 pounds on the Transbrake. Is it possible? I don't know. Will this turbo do it? I don't know. It always kind of felt like it was lazy on this motor. And now that this motor's a little bit lower compression with, yeah, a little bit more. Now that this motor has lower compression with these heads on it, it might be harder to get it to spin up on the brake. And we haven't tried out this new Circle D converter yet. So hopefully it's loose enough to get us where we want to be. But I guess we'll fire this thing up. We'll get it outside. See if we can, actually I'll have to let it heat up, obviously. Start it up, put some heat in it, get it out here in the driveway. We'll put it on the Transbrake, see if we can hit 10 pounds, and then try and play with this bump and make sure the bump works with the car running rather than just hearing it on the button, you know, down here. So anyways, I'll get this thing fired up, get it outside. We'll test this thing out. All right, so off camera, I was trying a couple things. I turned that boost modulation off, and I wanted to double check my boost ramp here, my boost versus time. So here you can see it starts out at 0 and then ramps up to 5 psi on the dome. This isn't boost, this is psi on the dome. So whatever this makes down track, who knows. But I've got it set up to make 10 psi or 10 psi on the launch. I don't know what that'll make in turn of boost pressure. But if you go back here, you can see, oh, trying to do this is really difficult in here. So right now I'm going to push the Transbrake button, and in theory it should put 10 psi on the dome because that's what I told it I wanted on target launch. And then when I let go of the button, it should, you'll see the dome or target dome go from like 0 and ramp up to 5, which was my boost ramp. And then you'll see it's time based, so I set it at 9 seconds. At 9 seconds I dropped the dome pressure off back to 0, so then it should go back to 0. So hit the Transbrake, it should say 10 pounds. 10 pounds, it's got 10 on the dome. Let go of the button, the timer starts, it'll run to 9 seconds, and then it'll flatline back to 0 from 5 pounds, just like that. So that shows us that our boost versus time setup works, our target launch dome pressure setup works. Now, like I said, we just got to get out in the driveway, heat it up, try and test it, pull up the data log and see what it does. And then yeah, we're getting close. We should be able to test this thing here very soon. So anyways, we'll get outside, check it out. so there's a good chance it's gonna fall on the ground as soon as I try this bump. But let's start this thing up and see if the bump function works, and we'll pull this data log and kind of see what we made for boost. All right, so you can see our boost and our dome pressure and stuff right there. This should, let me back out of this. Going here to my boost settings. We're gonna turn on this boost modulation or TPS modulation. So we'll go back in here. Let's see if it'll try and reach our dome pressure target on the two-step at 3,500. Transbrake's on. You can see the boost time started over. Let's hit it and see. Didn't hit our 10, but I didn't stay on it very long either, so that's a good start. And we can always pull that data log, check it out, and then let's see if our boost works or our bump works, and we'll try and see what that looks like. Alright, so I got this data log opened up. I should have started it with the handheld rather than doing it by my auto log setting where it starts it based on TPS. But here you can see target dome 10 psi, dome pressures 10 psi. We're at 3,200 coming up on the chip, and I had it set at like 35, so it's going to fluctuate. Or yeah, it's 35, like 35 to 3350. It's on 10 psi. That was about 3 seconds. It looks like it made 4.5 pounds right there. Not gonna be the ticket. We're definitely got to find the sweet spot in the tune-up to try and get this thing to make the 10 pounds of boost, but based on dome target, or based on the dome pressure, what it's seeing, and then what the Holley's trying to send it as target dome, all that stuff seems to be working properly. And I don't know if, let's see, I don't know, I don't think this was when I was playing with the bump. Let's see. Yeah, so this yellow line here is staging input 1. And that's the Transbrake right there. There, and then bump right here. So you can see both of them are on. We're right there on top of it. We go here. Just Transbrake is on. And then right there we got both the input 1 and input 2 on. So that's the bump button. So not good, but not terrible. We need it to come up a little bit faster than that. So we're gonna have to play around with the fueling and hopefully see if we can get this thing to come up on the chip a lot faster and a lot harder. All right, guys. Well, As you saw there, the car functions. It starts, it runs, it transbrakes, it bumps, it builds boost. You know, we should be good to get this thing on the dyno and or get it out and do some wastegate hits on the track. I'd like to get it on the dyno. A buddy of mine just got one locally here, the hub dyno, which would be really cool. But if we can't get on his dyno, we'll go down to the track and, like I said, just make some wastegate hits, try and shake it down. I'd like to get it out on the street in Mexico and test it out, but I don't really have any good places that I feel comfortable testing it out at. So I guess we'll just see what comes up in the next few days, and we'll just go from there. But we're making progress, guys. We're gonna be testing this thing pretty soon. That's gonna do it for this video. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.